So the question is, if we thought about game strategy and how we're gonna scout. Thoughts on game strategy? Yeah, currently we're going mostly for max occupancy, max capacity, because a lot of the strategy is probably gonna fall on the lines of load and then shoot. So like you take the inactive period to load and the active period to shoot. So the less time you spend less time you spend trying to find more balls during the shooting period, the better. Just because trying to go drive and pick up more balls and like having to deal with other teams getting in the way is difficult. It's likely that, at least I would imagine, that there's a niche where you have one team act as a defense bot and shuttle/steal balls from the other side. I would imagine that would be a pretty viable strategy, and that's pretty much what we've thought about, like the way that archetypes are going to break down. In terms of specific in-game strategy, I guess it just depends on more of like what the breakdown of the other lines looks like. If the other lines has a lot of high scorers, or like teams that are really good at picking up a lot of balls and like shooting a lot of them, then maybe you want to switch to more like stealing heavy strategy, that kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be quite like 2024 where you could starve the field. It's harder to do that because of the sheer number of game pieces and the fact that they get recycled back onto the field. So I would imagine that that's less viable. So the defense strategy is still probably like defense and stealing ball strategy is still probably very viable, but it's just probably less possible to starve the field. In terms of scouting, I don't know, we haven't totally thought about that. I will agree that this is not going to be an easy game to scout, but I think it's probably going to be important to look at not only like what each team, how many balls each team shoots, but also how many they're able to pick up, because having a team able to like pick up balls also is like a thing that they could like ferry or things like that. So teams that take good advantage of the inactive period to like pick up balls or do good defense or steal balls, is probably gonna be a good sign for a good sign as well. So like sort of like you need proficiency in both, right? You have to be able to load quickly and you have to be able to shoot accurately. So there's kind of like two categories of metric that you might want to look at, which does make it hard for scouts. I don't know what clickers probably is hard. I would imagine that like maybe you could just have a counter on a screen. I know a lot of teams use tablets, but yeah, I would scout both of those periods. Yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts.